Parents versus 5-year boyfriend. By External N2215. Where to begin? My parents are very hard-working immigrants who run a successful family business. I have no complaints about my upbringing except for the lack of parental guidance or real advice. Being taught how to lie to please people. My traditional parents definitely don't appreciate the fact that since we met we've basically spent all our time living together prior to getting married. But whatever. It happened. I probably should have just got married back then. 5 years ago when I first met my BF. Anyways, my BF and I graduate, end up working in the political field, life is great. COVID hits and my BF and I are literally living in a studio apartment together. Working from home. Under curfews and roadblocks. For 2 years we lived like that and fought only once. My fault. We are a badass couple. Imagine a less violent Bonnie and Amp. Clyde. The final straw for my dad, so I bring my BF home a few years back. My BF collects bullion. Like the precious metals kind. And I asked him to bring home this one silver bar to show my dad. After a few drinks, my dad decided to test my BF and ask my BF to sell his silver bar to my dad for a cheaper price. My BF, who's a proud and honest man, said, "We'll see." After I pressured him, we found out the bar is sold out and my BF then told my dad that no, he won't sell it. And my dad lost it, saying he's not a man of his word. Blah blah blah. For the record, my dad is entitled. He has 5x the amount of bullion we have. Since then, my BF hasn't visited home. My mom has seen him at my graduation and whatnot. But even then she just talks stuff about his appearance, which I love about him. Or because he doesn't work a 9-to-5 job. To make up for not going to law school, I went and got my master's degree online in a 1-year program. My BF and I left the studio apartment and working in politics. We moved into a remote area with a lovely log home. We're now trying to make our own homestead. We've completely immersed ourselves in the community, making friends with everyone, and even getting involved in local organizations, and being expected to become a big-shot successful lawyer one day. 3rd year of university I was supposed to be studying for my LSATs, law school test requirement, and applying to law schools. Got 2 dogs and 1 cat, living our new lives. Here's my parents' perspective of my new life. She has now stopped going down the path in life we want her to go down and is now living in a log cabin in the woods and is just going to be a housewife. The truth is, yes. I am now 26 years old. My BF is 29 and we want to get engaged and have children as soon as we can. We've been together for over 5.5 years. Have done and shared everything together. But I'm being held back by my parents. My parents don't know I feel this way, because I know that they would freak out. My dad said the other day on the phone that women who get pregnant at 25 mess up their entire lives. That's when I said, "Isn't that when mom had me?" Quote, "My parents want me to pursue a career. I've worked in my field already. I realized that I want to live a different kind of life, a simpler, healthier and entrepreneurial one." My brother has told me recently that he's had a conversation with my dad about my relationship with my BF. According to my dad, if I get married to my BF then my dad will remove me from his will and won't attend my wedding. Which is so sad because for some reason I could never imagine him walking me down the aisle anyways. For the last year my dad has been practically begging me to move home because there's more opportunities there with our family name and reputation. Which is true, but I can't spend more than 2 weeks at home at a time around him. And there's a lot of other stuff that just don't attract me to moving back home. Anyways, long story short, my parents have pretty much made it clear that they have no intentions of coming around on my BF. Friends tell me that it's my parents who are putting me in the position where they want me to choose. Not me. Like some of you may be able to relate to. I feel like I owe them. I feel like I have a duty to give back to them. This is a part of my family's culture. Even though my dad's family screwed him over before, my mother always said, "I gave everything I have for you." Instead, I found myself focusing all my efforts on working full-time, jobs I enjoyed, and studying full-time, which led to a low-key cocaine addiction. In around this time I met my boyfriend, BF, who got me back to a healthier place. We fell in love pretty damn hard. Which is true as an immigrant who felt like she had to marry a man 15 years older than her who doesn't show her any affection. I know the times back then would have been hard for her, but the times we're living through now and for the next 15 years won't be easy either. The last few years were pretty rough. I'd rather live through the 50s to 80s than have been born in the 90s. So now I'm living where I am. I do have limited work opportunities, but I can work remotely, somewhere locally, and on the homestead, make my own entrepreneurial business. I'm just so distant from my parents now. If my parents ever visited my new home, they would look down on me because they cherish their Turkish marble floors and I have painted plywood floors. Great for cleaning and dogs. One last note, my parents should feel good knowing their daughter is with a veteran who can protect her and bought her a home and has never left her side. But what do I know? Maybe I'm wrong? Help me confirm the ugly truth, that my parents are the ones putting me in this position. So it's their decision, not mine? If this is how they want to be, and if this the kinds of people they are, then I don't want to be around that anyways. I need to stop letting them hold me back. I literally get anxious every 2 days because if I don't call home I know they'll call for a report on what I've been up to. Help. I will answer any questions. Sorry for being all over the place. My heart hurts thinking about any of it. It's been years now that I've had to live between this all. I thought maybe my parents would have come around by now. Do I continue this life without my parents? Or listen to my parents and start fresh back home and probably live with insane regret? I'd rather live a humble life with my BF and chickens than a workaholic husband who's probably unfaithful. Okay. Stopping the thought train now. Thank you in advance. This is the first BF parent issue that arises. My parents believe my BF is holding me back from pursuing law school, even though I've repeatedly told them that I am not the kind of person to pursue a legal career, as cool as it would be. Anyhow, shortly after meeting my BF he moves in with me and we become inseparable. He didn't finish his university degree because he joined the military, but then decided to finish his degree while I finished mine. The first Christmas of meeting my boyfriend, his parents offered to fly me to the UK where they were living for the holidays. My mother, a traditional woman, was furious with the fact that I would dare spend a Christmas away from home. I went on the trip anyways, but my mother never let it go. It was an amazing trip and I met incredible people. My parents should have been happy for me. I also found out another reason why my mother doesn't like my BF. Early on when I brought him home, we were playing cards with my brother and mother and apparently my BF was too competitive and aggressive, playing ing cards. They still hold it against him.